Hello everyone, I'm Sir Nath, and welcome to another one of my late night or early morning vlogs. It is currently 1:50 in the morning. I am late at getting this vlog done. I got busy with some other shit, and I'm really tired, but I want to go ahead and get this done so I can have it uploaded later today. But recently I heard a song known as My R. It's a Japanese song or whatever, and I heard an English cover for it, and it's a song about like suicide and depression. And it's a really good song, but if you're not comfortable with that or whatever, you shouldn't listen to it. I'll leave a link down in the description for those who want to listen to it, but it kind of hit home for me in a sense of I've been at a depressed state like that and a suicidal like state. And what really hit hard with this song is that the video that goes with it is about this girl. Now I don't know if this is the original thing. Like I said, I this is the English version I'm watching. I've seen different animations for it, but there seems to be this one common animation that's gone with a lot of the English covers. It's this like high school girl who goes up to the rooftop to jump off and things like that, and as you like watch the video or whatever throughout the song and stuff, you see that she has issues at home. Her parents are constantly fighting and yelling. She gets bullied a lot at school, and like girls held her down, cut her hair, ripped her hair off and things like that, and bullied her, and she had enough, and she eventually jumps off the roof. And that really hit close home. Now I was bullied a lot in school, like a lot, but I was never physically bullied, and I think that I was very lucky with that. By the time I made it to 6th grade, that's around the time the bullying started, because in like elementary school, you know, kindergarten up to 5th grade, we all just knew each other. Like there was like 60 of us or 90 of us, like max. Like I think we were like 20 kids per class or some shit like that. So like yeah, about 60 to 80 of us max. We all knew each other. We all grew up. Some of us lived on the same street and things like that. And then we got into middle school. Yeah, combined it with like 3 other schools. So we literally went from like 80 kids up to like 280 something kids or some shit like that. It was ridiculous. And by the time I made it 6th grade, I was already like 5'11" or 5'10", and I was like 11 or 10 years old. So my size hit hard in 6th grade. Like I look intimidating to some people, and I think that's what helped with me like not getting bullied. Now that said, I can't really fight or defend myself. I mean, I could probably defend myself against one person, but like if like someone or a group of people wanted to, they would probably have no trouble getting my tall ass down and shit to bully me. But I think that's what potentially persuaded a lot of bullies, because I knew some kids at school who got bullied. I knew a kid who even killed himself because he was being bullied and shit, and they've beaten him up and stuff. Teachers never did anything, and the guy just never got the help that he needed. So I'm very grateful to my side. So I could be wrong. Could be, you know, the people who bullied me just didn't want to physically bully me, but I was bullied for 5 years straight. So seeing this video of a high school student committing suicide, it really hit home for me, and it got me just really thinking about my past and stuff, which is weird because I don't tend to think about the past. When I do, I just want it to be memories of like me and my parents or me and my best friends and stuff. Like I don't look at the past. There's nothing to gain from me looking at the past. It's happened. I'm still here, so I'm just going to look at the present and the future. I just don't see a point dawdling on the past for stuff, and like unless it's just for those little memories and stuff. Like I'm not even a very open like person when it comes to like the past. Like recently, I think it was November or August, somewhere around that area, I had to have my dog Chris put down because he developed diabetes, and when we took him to the vet and had blood work done like 2 or 3 years ago for surgery, they never discovered he had diabetes, and he ended up developing diabetes at like really bad near the start of last year, and just over time he declined, and he wasn't getting any better, and we had to put him down. And something my mom has done is she's the type of person who likes to look at the past, especially when something bad happens. Like, you know, if a if a relative dies or something, or if a pet dies, my mom is one of the people who want like, oh, do you remember doing this or that in the past? I'm not that kind of guy. I'll think about the past of my own. I like to, I have fond memories in the past I'll think about, but that's it. I just drop everything. I don't care about the past anymore. I'm here for the present and future because this is, this is stuff that's happening and the stuff is yet to happen. And it was just really weird to think about my school because besides elementary school, school was a terrible time for me. I did not enjoy it, and I know I could have had it a lot worse. I could have been physically bullied. There are worse schools than my school, although if you talk around my place, where I live and things, my school was known for being a bad school. It got a lot of bad kids and shit, and not even bad in the sense of like, hoodlums or doing whatever the hell they want and kids want to pretend to be gangster. Just bad, and because like bad for that, bad for grade average, all sorts of shit. Even the teachers talked about how like all the bad students got dropped here and no one gave a shit about the school and things like that. But those were like the worst 5 years of my life, and I'm happy that I dropped out. Like dropping out was the best thing I've done in my life besides doing YouTube and dedicating myself to be a computer builder. I'm decent with computers, but yeah, so dropped out, was happy with that. So it's really weird because I kind of felt this coming, this song and like this thinking process, because when I think, I go into deep thinking. I don't just bullshit around and just think a little bit. When I want to think about something, I commit to it. And I had a long, hard thought on my school pass and things, and the reason I kind of felt it was coming was because these past 2 or 3 months I've been having dreams that I was in school, but I knew subconsciously I had graduated with my GED, and I would show up to school with this I don't give a shit attitude, and each time it was a different building, which is weird, and I would see my old classmates and shit, and it's like, I've already graduated, what the fuck am I doing here? And I would end up leaving the building, and when I left, I'd wake up, it's like my subconscious was pulling me out saying, oh, wait a minute, you've already done all that shit, you've already passed. So I kind of felt it was coming, but I'm trying to find words. So this is a hard time for me to talk about. Again, I do consider myself to be very lucky because there are people out there who have been bullied a lot in school, a lot worse than I have. And I mean, I would have kids look at me, make fun of me, snicker, laugh at me because I'm overweight, they think I'm ugly, that kind of shit. It got to a point where I didn't really care about it, but you can be that kind of person who doesn't really care about it, but when it's something you hear day in and day out, and it's for 5 years straight, and it's all you ever hear, I don't think I've ever once received a compliment from people, except for like my 2 best friends and my family members. I've never received a compliment from anybody, really. So, I mean, like, my elementary school teachers, I meet them and they compliment me. I've grown into a good young man and things like that. But I mean, like, I've never received a compliment from, like, one of my peers or, people my age and that kind of shit. So, I kind of just got accustomed to the insults and the bullying and things like that. And then I thought I had built up a tolerance to it, you go 5 years with it and shit. And then, 5 years of that, and then all of a sudden 5th year, which was my sophomore year, I hit the state, and I just felt my worst my sophomore year. I don't think I'd uploaded any videos really my sophomore year. I uploaded like 3 videos. I was at a low point in my life. Oh my god, I don't know why I'm burping so much. I'm so sorry. And to add on top of that, there was a rumor going around, because I was a quiet kid in class, all right? I sit at the back of the corner, I do my work, and that's it. I don't want to be partner up. If we do partner up, I've got like 2 people I go with, that's it. Now, there were people who knew me, and I remember this kid named Dennis. We were talking about, oh god, what were we talking? We were talking about something in my economics class, and we got talking to a bank. And Dennis was a cool guy, and like I like to think we were friends, but we only knew each other in that room. It was once we were gone, I didn't have his phone number, I didn't know where he lived or anything like that. We never hung out of school, but we were both pretty chill with each other in class. And I remember he thought I was so smart. We got talking about a bank heist and how like banks use electronic locks and things like that, and somehow along the line we were talking about like a mastermind plan for a heist. and he just yelled my man Brandon in the middle of class and like patted me on the back, got everyone's attention and shit. That was embarrassing, but it was pretty cool. But yeah, so I kept myself. I had like 6 friends maybe, and the rest were like acquaintances and stuff. Like there was a few people who were there that I would chill, like I would just chill and hang out with, but like I don't know them really. They were like friends of my friends and stuff. I remember there's this one dude, God, it still bothers me today. So one day, this big white dude showed up. I mean, he's about my height, my size, so like he's a big dude. Shows up and he's just hanging out with us. No problem, I don't care. We used to hang out in the library and play poker. And I dropped out and then hadn't seen him since. And mind you, I never knew his name because we didn't call each other out by names really. We just like, hey, what's up? And sit down. It's like, and all this shit. I think I have a buddy named Paul. He's been on the channel a few times. He has called me by my name more times over the microphone than we ever did in the actually like 5 years we hung out. Because we met in 6th grade. We hung out a little bit in class. In 7th grade, we got a little bit more. Than 8th grade was more. And then like, high school, we hung out a lot more. But he called me my name more over Mike than he did in real life. So like, I never knew this dude's name. And lo and behold, he has a job at the store near my house, and I have no idea who this guy is. I know that there was a buddy from school, but he's like, oh, what's up, man? Shakes my hand, meets me at the place he's working and things like that, asks me how's life going and shit, and I have no idea who this kid is. I'm getting off topic, but still, I still feel bad to this day that I don't know who he is. I mean, it's not really my fault, but I was too embarrassed to ask him in case he had said it. Anyways, back to the point. So I was always a quiet kid. Now, my sophomore year, a lot of bad things happened news-wise. The one of the biggest things was there was a few school shootings that happened, which is terrible. I think there was, for that total year, there was like 7 school shootings, which is terrible. And from that year to like the next couple years, we had like double-digit school shootings every year, and it was bad. And then it's died off some. There are still shootings and still school shootings, but it seems to have calmed down some, which is good. But I remember that I was with my cousin, and I think sophomore year is the sophomore year is the year I was doing my driver's test. So I stayed after school like twice a week to 6 p.m. or whatever, and I was hanging out with my cousin. And she mentioned something to me, and it's such a terrible thing what kids will say. Apparently, according to her, and I thought she was joking at first until later, but several of her friends were asking her, camera, stop shaking. Thank you. Because I would miss a lot of school. I didn't want to be there. I'd fake being sick and things like that. And apparently, according to her, a lot of her friends were getting nervous when I didn't show up for school. And I'm like, why? I don't know these people. Why you getting nervous about me not showing up to school, man? I'm staying home, playing video games, and just chilling out. And especially my freshman year when I skipped, I was making YouTube videos, Sophomore year, I didn't do much. When I faked being sick, I laid in bed, watched YouTube, and just was depressed about myself and just hated myself. So I was like, why are these like random girls and guys I've never even heard of before getting worried about me? They got it in their idea because of the news going on and because I was a quiet kid, I was going to come shoot up our school. And that is such a terrible thing. It's one thing to make fun of someone for the way they look or someone's weight, and that is very terrible. But you take it to another level, and I'm like 14 or 15 years old at this time, okay? So it's like, why? I have done nothing with my life yet, and you already made me feel terrible. That you think I'm going to shoot up a school, which is just a terrible, terrible thing. That is such a fucking escalation for making fun of me the way I look and snickering behind my back and shit like that. And it got to the point to where I had missed more school. I came back and I received some notes. They were phone numbers from people. And I'm like, what? They wanted me to text/call them the day I decided to show up and shoot the school up. And it just kept going downhill. there were people in my group who I thought were my friends even come to me in private and tell me when I decide to shoot up the school to warn them so they can stay home. And it was not a joke. Like, I've joked about dumb shit with my friends, right? You can tell when people are joking about that kind of thing, because you shouldn't really joke about it kind of thing. But when I joke about kind of dark topics like that, I try my damnedest to keep it between two people, the only two people I ever joke about that kind of shit with. And it's only ever us three. It's a little laugh and then we drop it. We never mean anything by it. But these dudes pulled me in private and talked to me. There was no joking. It was serious. And they were supposed to be my friends, and they thought I would show up and just shoot the school up. And I don't know, besides physical abuse, I don't know how much more verbally you could increase the scale on such a terrible thing, because you live in a thought that people are fearing you. And I've done nothing. I was just not enjoying school. I didn't like the people there, and apparently for a damn good reason not to like the people. But if you looked at me and watched me, you had no reason besides that quiet kids shoot up schools or whatever stereotype shit. But like, I was just there to try to scrape by and just literally trying to make it through the day. I hate it. Like, and I think this is what made that year so bad for me, because I already hate it myself as is part of my depression was I couldn't stand myself. And depression is a really bad thing, and you're at a really, really low. I'm sorry if I'm shaking my webcam a lot. I'm actually shaking about talking this. I don't like getting emotional and talking, so my hand is on my desk and it's kind of shaking, so sorry if that bothers anyone. But I was at a real low because, and I'm thinking back, I think I was very, very, very close to crossing the line of suicide. When I would sit in a room alone at night or just in here, and if nothing is going on and I could hear myself breathe or I could hear my heartbeat and stuff, I would hate the sound of my own breathing and the sound of my heartbeat, because I could not stand the fact that I was still alive. That is how bad it got. And then you start piling on this shit, like, kids at school fear me. They think I'm gonna show up and start killing people and things like that. That is just the worst kind of verbal abuse I think you could have on someone. It's just terrible to think that these kids fear me. And the thing is that this could have been some big fucking joke of bullying and stuff, and no matter how you look at whether or not they really thought I could or it was a joke, it is such a terrible, terrible thing. And I don't know if I've ever heard anyone verbally say anything worse than something like that. Whether it be shoot up a school, attack a group of people or whatever, is such a terrible thing to think that someone would say that to another person, that they believe that they're going to do that. That is terrible, and especially to a kid. I was young. I haven't done anything in my life. I still haven't done anything in my life, man. I don't even own a gun. But I was some feared kid, man. Like, it's weird. Like, there were kids I believed could potentially shoot the school up. Now, I didn't think they would, but if we are to look at the subject, that specific subject, there were kids I could name that I believe could shoot up the school. Not shoot the school specifically to shoot up the school, but shoot up because of gang shit. I rode the bus next to a murderer. Yeah, it was like bad. There were kids far worse than me. There was this kid I rode on the bus near or next to all the time. And one day, all of a sudden, he stopped showing up. And everyone's like, what is going on? And things like that. And of course, there are the select few who knew because they were involved with him and the gang and shit. See on the news, he murdered a security guard at some place. So, yeah. Had people try to get me to go to a party sophomore year, and I don't know if the guys were joking because I didn't know them, or if they were just trying to get as many people to the party as possible. That was the first time anyone has ever asked me to go to a party, like a high school party. And of course I declined. I didn't know these dudes. I wanted to go home, man. And woke up, went the next day, found out there was a shooting next to my neighborhood. It was the party. It got shut up. So there's all these bad kids who, if you want to be afraid of them because they're wannabe gangbangers and shit like that, and they've got their hands on guns and stuff. But no, you fear the guy who is. I'm a pacifist now. I used to be I don't want to say violent, but I used to kind of have this aggressive attitude, not towards people, but just like, I'm trying to choose my words here carefully, but like I wouldn't come off as an aggressive person. But if you talk to like anyone who knows me and stuff, my like view on the world and life has definitely gone more to a peaceful route, and I've gone more pacifist, and like I can't stand violence. Or maybe I've always been a pacifist and it's just really have come out now. Like before, I would think about violence and I'd think, oh, that's bad, and that was it. But now, like, it genuinely hurts to think about violence now, and it's such a bad thing. Like, so I don't know if it's just pacifist in me slowly came out over time, or if it's something recent or whatever. But so yeah, you have all these kids who could be the threat, and you just choose little old me or big old me, whatever the hell. So I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around it. I'm sorry. This is my first time thinking out loud about it and hearing myself think about it. Thinking about it for a while, then actually saying it, I still can't wrap my mind around it. I just don't see how. I don't know. It's probably the news and the media and things like that, because that's all they want to advertise was the school shootings and shit like that. But still, like, we're high schoolers. We're not really affected. I don't think you should be really affected by media. We are all making our own decisions and doing things with our lives. So I don't think you should just go around accusing people of going to shoot up a school and things like that. So yeah, high school really sucked. I remember another thing that is actually the reason why I never asked another girl out. So I met a girl in 6th grade. Now, this is not the reason why I don't ask people out, but this girl, she was beautiful, she was funny, and I think I made the mistake of not asking her out. Mind you, I was 10, but I think I should have tried anyways, even though I was 10. To me, that's really young, and that's probably young to a lot of people, but hell, by the time I was 11, I had new kids who had had sex, and I was like, oh my god, what the hell are y'all doing, you know? Like, and by the time I made it to 8th grade at like 12 or 13, there was already some of my classmates pregnant. So yeah, so I think asking a girl out would have been fine, and I never did. So that she was the only girl that I think of that I have regret for not talking to more, because I loved being with her. I loved talking with her. She was funny. We enjoyed hanging out with her. We enjoyed hanging out with her. We enjoyed hanging out with one another is what I meant to say. But we had a weird relationship. I don't know what's that word in anime? She was like the one who would care about you but then call you an idiot, or baka, or whatever the hell they say. I should know this, but it's late. But like, so she would like smack me and shit, but not like on the face, man. She'd like slap me on the shoulder and shit and get upset, and then like 2 seconds later be like leaning on my back and shit and like holding my arm and stuff. I remember she used to like use, because I was like I'm a wide guy, so you'd be in the hallway and need to write something, and she just asked me to stop moving and she used my back as like a desk and shit. And it's weird shit. We were 10 and 11 years old, but I remember I was getting bullied for something I brought at lunch because it looked like cat food. I mean, this wasn't a big deal, but like it was potted meat. And I remember they were laughing and shit and pointing at me and things like that, making a big ass scene. And she took the potted meat and like stabbed a spoon to it and ripped out and yelled, "It's not cat food," and like put it in her mouth again. Again, it's weird, but like, I don't know, it made me happy and things like that. And we mixed really well. And then her name was Brittany, by the way. I'm not gonna say her last name, but she was awesome. She's one of the few people that I've met and remember from school that I really wish I was still in contact with, even if just say hello every other day, you know? It's like, but from then, I went on to ask a girl out in 7th grade. I had a weird short one-day relationship with this one girl in 6th grade, but it didn't. Basically, we got together, and then her best friend, who I don't know why she would say this, because I was really good friends with her best friend. I mean, like, we went to each other's houses and shit, but so me and her got together, and then her best friend was like, I don't think you two should be together, and things like that. And so she told me that. I was like, my best friend doesn't want us to be together. And I was like, well, it's not really your best friend's decision. Like, ignore what your best friend says. Choose what you want to do. This is your decision. And she broke up with me because I told her to ignore her best friend. So that was weird. I guess some people just like to listen to others or something. I don't know. Can't think for yourselves. But went to 7th grade, asked this girl out. Got told no because she had a boyfriend in high school. Now, I'm actually really glad I never got with this girl, because unless we hooked up and she had a big, like, she didn't go the way she did, it would have been terrible. She was one of those people who hung out with, like, the gangsters and shit. Mind you, this is 7th grade, so I didn't know all that. And I don't want to say a whore, but she was kind of a whore, because every guy talked about her and had photos of her and shit, so kind of dodged a bullet that one. But anyways, skip forward to 8th grade. Yes, 8th grade? Maybe 8th grade. It's 8th grade. I remember the teacher. We are in science class, and I don't even remember why we did this thing. We did this thing to where occasionally we would branch from our current class if we didn't have anything in the curriculum to do, and go over to the other class, even though we would eventually get to that class depending on the day and stuff. We still went there because we did A-B days. So like I would have my main class, which was math, and then I would have science, and then on a B day I would have like social studies instead of science or whatever and shit. And of course you had reading. But we went to the science class for something, and I got paired up with the girl I asked out in 7th grade. Whatever. I had other classes with her before, and we were in a group where I got 2 girls who I had, didn't know really about. I thought the first girl I asked out was sort of my friend, but I found out that was just a front or whatever. But we started working, and she talked to the other girl and told her that I asked her out. And the other girl was kind of shocked that I asked her out. She's like, "You asked her out?" I was like, "Yeah, what the hell? Like, is you surprised I asked her out?" Like, don't get me wrong, it wasn't face to face or whatever. It was over the phone. I'm a bitch. I'll hide behind an electronic device in a heartbeat. But I don't understand the reason behind asking that. It felt like she was thinking, like, really someone like you asked her out? Like I wasn't good enough or something? And eventually, more and more people, she told, like, more people and shit. And of course, it just added to the whispering and things like that. But it's terrible thinking back on it. Like I said, it's not the worst. I definitely do think I did get lucky, but mentally, just thinking about it, it's a lot of bad stuff. Last 5 years of school, it's terrible, and it's just, everyone kept saying, like, when I got to middle school, it was like high school would be better, it'd be older, it'd be a lot more free. And I got to high school, there's just more rules, regulations, more students to hate me and things like that. It's like, who the hell came up with the saying high school would be better? The feeling of depression was so terrible. I've never felt anything worse than it. Even physical, I felt a lot of physical pain. I hurt myself every day. I'm a klutz. Like, if anyone takes a few minutes to know me, like, I'm a klutz. I hurt myself all the time. I'll be sending photos in Discord every other week. One of my hands will be bandaged, whether it be burns, crush, stab, whatever. Which is why I'm surprised I've never, like, broken a limb. I have fallen out of a 35-foot tree. I've been launched 15 feet in the air, landing on my neck. I've never fractured or broken anything. But I've got second-degree burns. I've got, like, dog bite wounds. I've got stab, like, scars and things like that. I've been electrocuted multiple times. I fall down a lot. I'm a klutz. I've got bad knees from all the times I've fallen. My knees are really bad. But, what the hell were we talking about again? Oh, right, physical pain. So, but all that pain that I've experienced, it's all temporary, and it was all gone fast. I don't like getting hurt, mind you. I'm not trying to say that I can take pain or whatever, but it happened. Moved past it, it's gone. But that mental pain, it has stuck with me since those 5 years of school, and I, like, this year is off to a rough start. And I'm not even talking about all the shit that's going on, poor Australia and the virus that broke out in China. It's now broke out in they have a reported case in my state now, and it's in America and shit. But I don't know. This month has been rough for me for some reason. I'm not even sure why. It's that's the thing about depression. Is like there doesn't seem to be a reason for it. It's, you know, I've got two loving parents, and I've got, you know, two amazing best friends, and I find myself to be in a really lucky position because I really should be back in school, like college, getting a degree, or I should be trying to work a job, and I'm doing neither. And my parents are really supportive, and I'm trying to do as much as I can for my parents and show them that I do appreciate it. But even with all that, it just, depression still hits like a train, and it's came back, and it's hit hard. January, the month is almost over. It's got like 3 days left, and I thought it'd be better by now, but it's just been rough for some reason. And listening to that song, just like I said, it hit home with me just because it kind of reminded me of what it did. But then it really hit home because I guess it fully registered that there are so many people that experience depression. I'm not ignorant. I knew there were people who commit suicide and were depressed. I know people who've been depressed. I've been at school with a guy who committed suicide and things like that. So like, I'm not ignorant to the statistics and shit, but I guess the emotional side of it finally hit, and it is such a terrible thing to think about. Like, all these people feel what I feel, and I wouldn't wish it on anybody to feel this way. I wish no one feels the way, like, if I could have it, I would make sure no one else feels the way I do, because it's terrible. I wish no one would ever experience what I experience emotionally. And I'm sure there are people who have it even worse than I do, because they get physically assaulted, bullied, whatever, and their depression's even worse than I am. At least I'm still getting up every day out of bed. Some people aren't. So that part just kind of really hit with me. And that's actually why the song made me cry, I guess. It's every time I listen to the song now, it just really makes me tear up, and I actually cry to myself and stuff. It's terrible. But I am one of the lucky people who have seen past my depression, because these past, like, last year it came back on and off. That's why I made the that flimsy, buggy, cheap ass RPG game I made about my depression. More of a coping mechanism. Just saying I had depression made me slowly feel a little bit better. It was very poorly scripted, and it does not even remotely explain fully what depression feels like. But it, like I said, it's more of a coping thing. But before that, last year, like 2016, 2017, I had actually come out of that depressed state, and I was the happiest I had been in a long time. So I know that if you can stick through the depression, there's usually something better at the end of it. And I like to think there will always be something better at the end of it. I would find myself thinking about killing myself, and then I would think about my family and my friends, and over time, by having this kind of battle with myself on the inside mentally, to not commit to the suicide and stuff, I eventually came out of the clouds and stuff, and that's when I, like, you know, start seeing things a bit better. YouTube really took off. I say took off. I took off on YouTube of adding videos and shit. 2016 and 2017. No, 2016 is my inactive. 2017, 2018 were like my most active years on YouTube. Last year was pretty active, but I've slowed down just a little bit, and then I've picked it back up with this year. I think I've gotten, like, I don't know, 18 videos posted this month or something like that. I might be 20 videos posted this month or more. So I've almost posted every day this month. Some days I've posted twice, some days I've posted none, but I like to think there is something at the end, something to make it better. I obviously haven't found the better yet, because I'm still experiencing this. I may never get better or get over this, but there's always going to be something, I think, that will make the thing go away or suppress it, whether it be, like, you know, falling in love, or, you know, finding a passion or something like that. I don't think anyone should let themselves fall to the suicide phase and things like that. If you are, you know, seek help. Don't be like me, you know, like, help isn't for everybody, but you won't know until you try. I was against seeking help from a therapist or a psychologist or whatever. I didn't want to go to a doctor. I didn't want to be put on pills. I'm hard headed. I don't like getting help for that kind of stuff, which is weird because I'll ask for help from my parents in a heartbeat or my friends and things like that. But when it comes to, I guess it's just asking help for a stranger. I won't do it. I've had nightmares, mainly I'm assuming from the depression, but I've had nightmares for like 4 or 5 years straight, and a lot of it affects my sleeping habits. I refuse to go to a doctor for that. I don't want to be put on pills. I don't want to talk about it. I say if I can't deal with it myself, then I'm just not strong enough to do it. And that's a really bad mindset because you should take help. You should seek someone out if possible. If you have the option, do it, because you'll never know if that person could help you or not. Go to a doctor. If they help, great. If they don't, at least you tried something. Now it's time to find something new to try. Don't let yourself fall down to the terrible state I fell into. It's not a good place, and it's not somewhere you want to be in life. It's bad. Like it's a life you're talking about. There's no second chances, no respawn. It's gone. You don't want to leave that pain behind, because once you're gone, it's dead. It's done. But your pain don't come with you. Your pain moves on to the others around you, and that's another reason why I can't do it, is because I don't want to hurt the people I care about. I'm fine with. I think I've accepted the fact that I'm more okay with ending my own life than hurting the people I care about. I would be fine if I died tomorrow, but not okay with the pain that I would leave behind, because I just don't want to hurt my parents or my friends. So I think that's about it. This has been a long stream. This has also been a relatively quiet video. I've struggled to find words, and it's just been kind of gloomy, but I think I'll feel a little bit better tomorrow, now that, or well, later today. I got to be up in like 6 hours, but I think it'll be a little bit better that I said this. I heard the song like a week or two ago, and it just got me thinking, and I get these little ideas for vlogs and stuff, and it's like, if I don't do it, I will regret it later, because I'm the kind of person who holds on to stuff. I won't let something go. I would just think about it. So if I don't commit and don't do it, then it'll bother me till the day I die. Like, there's some conversations I've had last year that I still think about, and it bothers me. So although this has been a gloomy subject, I feel like it need to be said. And if anyone is experiencing anything remotely close to what I'm experiencing or have been experiencing in the past, even if it's just you feel gloomy for some reason, you don't know why, but you're not depressed, you just feel sad, talk to somebody, talk to a loved one, talk to your girlfriend, boyfriend, wife, husband, whatever. Talk to your best friend, talk to a doctor, talk to somebody, try things. Don't let yourself fall into a depressed state. If you are depressed, try to pull yourself out. Life, I've never really done much in life, but the little bit I've done in life I've enjoyed. So there's great things out there. I know things look bad and sound bad, but things aren't that bad. Not all people are assholes. Not all things are going south. Not every place gets shot up by a criminal or anything like that. Life is enjoyable, and it can be enjoyable. Go out, seek help, try new things or something. I don't know. I'm just some kid in my room. I've barely left this room for like the past 8 years or some shit like that. I don't do anything outside this, but as I've said, the little bit of life I've experienced through the computer and through YouTube, I've enjoyed it. So if I get a little bit of joy out of this, I'm sure there's things out in life that you guys can enjoy and makes your life better and help with your depression and stuff. But I think that's going to do it for the vlog. I've run on long enough. I've got to get it edited and upload it before I go to bed. So I will see you guys in the next episode. Let me know if anyone who is depressed and watches this and you want to talk. I'm not a professional, so don't take my words truthfully or whatever, but if you want to talk, I will be open to talking to anyone down below. So see you guys in the next episode.